Well, hello, YouTubers, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitter. This is Katherine Johnson, servant of the Lord. I want to thank you for tuning into my channel. If you like what you hear, give me the thumbs up. If you really like it, subscribe. Well, God sent me back to talk to you about November 2020. November is the month of the presidential election, and God said to tell you about the fire in November. God said to be prepared for the fire in November. For November will be like a snare to a lot of you because you have been asleep. But God said, my remnant will know what to do. God said there's a battle that is being waged between good and evil, between the clean and unclean, between my kingdom and the kingdom of darkness, between socialism and capitalism. There is a battle that has raged and has caused great division in this nation. And God said the election will expose the darkness of this nation. God said, look for the manifestation of the actual government that governs this nation. Look for the baby boomers, a special group of protesters to come out to wage war against the forces of hell. They will be empowered by my spirit, and they will have a blood banner over them to go against the enemy without hesitation. And they will prophesy and evangelize, and they will start to harvest the revival. And generations after them will be evangelized. Souls will be saved in other generations. And even the babes, from the mouth of babes, shall the word be preached, says the Spirit of the living God. God said this is a time for preparation of his people. This is a time that the church will be exposed. The true remnant church will be exposed. He says, I'm separating and I'm exposing what is mine and what is not mine. And you will know them, and they will know who they are. But God is saying that the baby boomers are going to rise up. There's going to be a tax on them as far as insurance, their Medicare, their pensions. It is the enemy's attack on them. And they're going to battle with the enemy. God said he's equipped them with boldness. He's given them life and experience, a track record with him. And they're going to go forth in boldness. And you'll see God's people. The world will know us through them, and other generations will follow. He said, look for the spirit of Elijah to rest heavy on that generation. Heavy on that generation. God showed me a fire on the streets. He showed me a group of people that were demonized. They had taken Satan's mark. They had did the ritual. They had given their souls to Satan. They're on the streets now. And they're possessed, demon possessed. They also have drug habits, crack cocaine, heroin. A lot of them are drug addicts. And they will do anything for the enemy. They are his slaves. So at the right signal, they will strike. They have been instructed. When he gives a signal, they will strike. And November is a month that they are instructed to wait for the signal. And when that signal is given, they won't hesitate at doing nothing. They will kill you and me. That is their assignment. The word speaks about them in the book of Revelation. They're murderers. They murder Christians. And they also involved with pharmakia, sorceries. So this heavy drug addiction. It's gonna be revealed where they're coming from. They've been exposed to the darkness, and the enemy came in. So God wanted me to give you that revelation. God also showed me that there's going to be irregularities in the voting. There's going to be exposure of theft. And this is going to be by groups of people. They're not Christians. They're just concerned citizens. They may be patriots, but they're going to come forth and expose it. And they're going to speak about the America they used to know and that they want things to return. But that's another group that's going to protest. But they're going to expose the irregularities because they're going to see where this country is going. They're going to see the face of the enemy. And that's what's going to deter them. There's a lot of people that are being led down the socialist road, but they don't understand what they're getting. But they're going to come face to face with the enemy. This is what God is showing me. And they're going to run for their lives, and they're going to protest and fight this. So there's going to be a battle. God said fire in November. Look for fire. Look for the fire. God said there's going to be a revolution. Groups of people fighting racially, politically. The government, it doesn't matter who gets in there. Trump wins or loses, Biden wins or loses. But there's a battle going on in the spirit realm. And even as the election goes on, God said there's going to be, that battle is still going to happen. Look for the riots, the looting to increase. But there's going to be bloodshed. There's going to be deaths. Because people are going to fight against each other. God showed me this dream. And I was walking toward this block. And as I walked toward it, I saw fire. Looked like the whole block was on fire. And it was a neighborhood block, and they had walk-up buildings. I could see the steps, but everything was on fire. And I got closer to the block, and the people started coming out, and they were on fire. And they were hostile. So I backed up. I was afraid I just stood there. And they stood where they were at. They didn't they didn't walk down the stairs of the walk-up building. They just stood there, waiting for me to come. But the ground was on fire. And as I stood there, it seemed forever. I felt like an angel grabbed my arm. And he was nudging me to walk. And I'm like, it's on fire. How can I walk? I can't walk in that fire. And then I woke up. And God is telling me to tell you, saints, we need to prepare. We are in dangerous times. He said, prepare for the fire. All hell is going to be loosed. Are you ready? God said, a lot of you are not. He said, a lot of you are going to take the mark of the beast. You're in denial. You don't even want to receive this time. He said, as in the days of Noah, so will it be at the coming of the Son of Man. He says, many of us are going to be partying and enjoying. We know enjoying, marrying, and giving in marriage. That means that we're dealing with a time where the Antichrist is here, so people can't buy or sell. So in order to do that, you have to be taking the mark of the beast. So there's a group of saints that are going to be taking the mark of the beast. And God is going to judge them. But they're going to be exposed in this time. So look for that. You'll know the remnant. God said he's going to press those baby boomers, those generations after. You're going to see the remnant. But you're also going to see those that are apostates. And they will know they're apostates. And they will be okay with it. God is giving them over to that. They're going to believe the lie. But God said to walk. Know what time it is. He said, prepare for this time. I've made you wise people. Prepare for this time. And know that I'm coming back, says your God.